Secondhand Smoke. Today, I will be presenting you with reasons on why secondhand smoke should be banned for public use. I believe that it is vital that the federal government ban the use of cigarette smoking in public. Surgeon General reports that, quote, today, massive and conclusive scientific evidence documents adverse effects of involuntary smoking on children and adults, including cancer and cardiovascular disease in adults, and adverse respiratory effects in children and adults alike, end quote. Richard C. M.D., 2014. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, secondhand smoke harms children and adults. The only way to fully protect non-smokers is to eliminate smoking at work sites and in public places. As a child, I experienced secondhand smoke, and as a result, I developed a mild case of asthma. It made playing sports somewhat difficult, but not impossible. As an adult, I, as well as my children, are still being exposed to secondhand smoke on a daily basis when we travel in public. I'm going to speak to you about the horrific effects secondhand smoke has on adults and children and try to persuade you on why smoking in public should be banned by the federal government. Secondhand smoke, also known as environmental tobacco smoke, is a mixture of two forms that come from burning tobacco. One is side stream smoke coming from a lit cigarette, and the other is mainstream smoke inhaled by the smoker. The side stream smoke has higher concentrations of cancer-causing agents known as carcinogens, and is more toxic than mainstream smoke. It also has smaller particles that makes it easier to enter into the lungs and the cells of the body. The American Cancer Society states non-smokers who breathe in secondhand smoke take in nicotine and other toxic chemicals the same as smokers do. The effects of secondhand smoke are dire, and over time can cause extreme medical conditions to adults and children. The American Cancer Society states that secondhand smoke has been linked to cancer, leukemia, lymphoma, brain tumors in children. Millions of Americans are still being exposed to secondhand smoke in their homes and their workplaces despite a great deal of progress in tobacco control. Almost half or more than 60% of children in the United States continue to be exposed. In children, secondhand smoke can cause ear infections, frequent and severe asthma attacks, respiratory infections, and a greater risk of SIDS. According to smokingfacts.net, 3,000 non-smoking adults die to diseases caused by exposure to secondhand smoke every year. Smokers feel they have the right to smoke wherever and as freely as they want. I disagree, obviously. Not at the expense of our children, and not at the expense of the health of non-smokers like myself. Shouldn't we have a choice in polluting our lungs just as the same as you have the choice in polluting yours? As a smoker, I believe that our human rights are being violated due to smokers assaulting us with the harmful chemicals that they choose to kill themselves with. Must you plant yourself right next to me and my children at a bus stop where we inevitably involuntarily inhale your smoke? Don't we have a choice in what kind of air we want to breathe? If the federal government cares for our children or humanity as a whole, please, please make a law against smoking in public completely. Smokers should smoke in the privacy of their own homes where they can only harm themselves, because that's what you're doing. If you have children, I suggest that you quit smoking, because you are putting them at risk just as you are putting yourselves at risk for a multitude of health issues. Secondhand smoke is made up of two forms: side-stream smoke and mainstream smoke. Side-stream smoke can be more harmful to non-smokers than smokers themselves. Secondhand smoke can cause cancer, ear infections, and respiratory infections in children, as well as brain tumors. That's serious. Smokers should take into consideration the rights of non-smokers and their choice to be healthy, because I choose to be healthy. Smokers, do not continue to be selfish. Protect your loved ones just as you would protect them from the dangers of the everyday occurrences. Be considerate of those who have the same human rights as you do. And finally, love your bodies. You only get one. Thank you.